This grant made possible the expansion of our infant room at the Early Learning Center, the creation of our master's program here at Salish Kootenai College, which is really unique, the investment into culture and language program, more resources into that program, and also we were able to create a tribal policy coordinator position, which was never existed before. This project has allowed us to expand our modes of delivery to prepare students, and so we've developed a certificate of early childhood. We already had an associate's and a bachelor's, and through this project and the weaving of other fundings, we've expanded also into a master's. And really critical to that work, we're supporting the Culture and Language, Native Language Teacher Program, which is actually immersing students into the culture and language of our home community. We approach education in a different way than you might find at a university system, and it's really grounded in the culture and language of the place that we are and perpetuating that, and also just really investing in our students and seeing who they are, their unique characteristics and strengths that they bring. Our students face a lot of obstacles, but they really come with a lot of resilience, and when they're able to come into our space, which we provide a supportive environment that has probably smaller class size ratios. Our campus is more like a family, and so when students are having struggles or need access to a resource, we can say, hey, let's walk over and go talk to this person, and maybe they can connect you to someone. With the funding, we've also been able to stabilize our lab center, which is called the Salish Kootenai College Early Learning Center.
We work with the education department so that the students in the education department can come to our center, do observations, present lessons, and get to observe the approach that we have to teaching young children. We also have all of our staff, except for myself, are in college right now, and they are provided the opportunity to go to the college at Salish Kootenai College. It does not cost them money, and they are able to take classes towards their degrees. So everybody is working towards something.
We've added another layer of creating a tribal policy coordinator in collaboration with 0 to 5 Montana, which was an important part of bringing tribal voice to the table and to bring the needs of our young children and families in their communities and bring their voices to that state level and to that national level of the unique challenges and barriers that they face in those communities.
Through this grant project, I was able to travel to the reservations in Montana and really sit down with tribal members, community leaders, elders, and families and get their perspective on barriers and successes that their tribal communities face on a daily basis. And now with that knowledge and the support of Salish Kootenai College and my role, I'm able to take those experiences that were shared with me and bring them to the legislative session when bills get brought up and advocate for those bills to pass through if they're supporting the tribal families.
I like to bring the Salish language into the classroom just naturally into everyday life. We sit down at breakfast and I use different language with different things, like for objects, like for the milk, we would say scam. For syrup, it's lamina. So, and then it's just naturally incorporated throughout the day. On the swings, I ask them how far they want to go how far they want to go up to the eshit, the tree, or to the stramasket, the sky. It's just placed throughout their day and every day, so that it's just naturally incorporated and learned. Just being there and being a Salish person, I just naturally bring my culture with me.
For us, learning language is not just, and learning our language is not just learning for fun or we're curious about Spanish. It's not a pastime. It's really connected to who we are, and we're learning it to understand and connect with who we are as tribal people and as Salish and Kalispel people. And so it really has lifted people and encouraged them of who they are, and they've celebrated that, and it's changed them in an amazing way where they have quit drugs and alcohol and, become leaders in our community.
This project, I think, has been really an important light on the need for communities to have access to higher education in tribal communities. I think that also it's really important that we invest in the early childhood system as a whole. And that starts with children and families offering access for high quality care for children and families, for all children and families, including the high need for infant and toddler care. So when you start with that, you're building into your community. And when the other part of building your community then is investing in the teachers who are creating those opportunities for children and families to grow and thrive. And I think that's an important part of the system, and we need to look at how our country looks at early childhood and the importance of it for our local goals, our state goals, and really nationally. It's just an investment in our own people and communities.
We are a nonprofit. We don't make a lot of money, and so the grants were able to come in, and we were able to raise what we could offer teachers and bring salaries up to a comparable for what is going in this area. And so it's given us an opportunity to hire more people. It's given us an opportunity to keep the teachers that we've had, and then by adding the ability for them to go to school on top of that and to pay for their schooling, it just helps us to build a better team.
Is the funding source that you're going to have, is that going to be, when will that end, and how will you continue that work, right? And so that's always a challenge and something that we have to think about. Instead of putting Band-Aids on systems, we need to look at it in a more holistic way of how can we sustain an essential need for all children and families.
Without this grant, it would never have been possible for us to develop the kinds of collaborations that have been developed over the course of time. And those collaborations, which if you look at it through the lens of, I often think of it as expanding ripples from a stone thrown into a pond. I really can see the expansion of those ripples thrown into the pond. I believe those collaborations have relationships behind them that will make those collaborations endure, but it just doesn't happen without a level of funding that allows for that to be sustained. There is a sustained energy and a sustained effort that has to occur in order for that to be completed.